Well, hello, my friends. It's Shawn Petite, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Look at this cutie we're making today. A little surprise in my journal page today. Here are some of the supplies that we'll be using today. And here are the stencils that we'll be using today and will also be on sale this week. So I'm starting out in my handmade journal, and I had these random bits of tissue paper that were part of a gift in like a gift bag. And of course I saved them because that's what I do. And so this was the perfect time to use them. I typically don't use tissue paper directly on a blank page because I like to have something behind it, but there was going to be enough going on. I felt that I would just put these down and use them. And then again, here's some more fun tissue paper that I have in just my stash of stuff that I thought would add a pop of whimsy and a little bit of contrast and some fun to this page. And so I'm just putting those down kind of randomly, no plan really as of yet. I do have a plan for my little surprise pop out there. This is just like pages from a vintage book. And I love it. I positively love it. I don't do stuff like this very often, but I've seen all kinds of artists do this, add pockets and different things like that. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try something different and new. And that's kind of my, thing for the new year, is to step outside my comfort zone. And so that is what I'm doing. And so this will be my little flap, or I don't even know what you would call it, but it's a flap to me. So I am back at it with my color shaper or silicone tool and getting more and more comfortable every day with using it and loving the sheer layers that it allows me to create with. So I'm putting down some cold gray Arteza paint. Cold gray is one of my favorite colors of theirs. It's kind of a gray blue. It's really, really pretty, soft and subtle. I did put my tissue papers down with Liquitex Fluid Matte Medium. I forgot to mention that. And then I put the flap down with matte gel because it's a little heavier. I'm using some Lukas acrylic paints it's called Flesh, I believe. That's just the name of the paint. And then again, using my silicone tool to kind of mix that together and get some nice sheer coverage. I'm just working to try and push everything back now. And while I want those patterns and wonderful little flowers and things like that to show up here and there, I don't want them to be the focal point. This is the Mediterranean Duo stencil, and I'm just trying to get pattern down and interest. And I am kind of grouping or attaching my images with my stenciled areas and kind of creating these vignettes so that everything feels connected. I'm overlapping them, and I have a hard time including my flap. I keep forgetting to do that. I don't know why. Probably because I've never really done that kind of thing before. So just using both sides of that Mediterranean Duo stencil to get some pattern. And the pattern's real loose and not very defined. I'm using my brush and not being real particular about it at all, but just getting some interest in the background. Now I'm just taking my brayer with some of that cold gray again and a little bit of gesso to kind of, again, push everything back, make it feel cohesive, make it feel like it's all part of one piece, and yet still trying to keep some of my wonderful little designs and things like that that's in the background. And they all show up wonderfully, I think, and it felt very cohesive and lots of yummy textural layers, which I love. And so you can see here, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to add something to that flap. It can't just be like perfect and new and wonderful. And so I'm just going to continue to add here, and that tissue paper adds just so much fun texture to the piece. Adding just a few little scratches into the wet paint and my charcoal, and then with my charcoal pencil I start drawing some lines and kind of getting an idea of where I'm going to be placing things and putting things down. So now that I've got an idea of where I'm placing everything, I've got my spring leaves stencil, and I'm just going to start building up the focal point, which is that flower and the leaves, and kind of bringing that all together. And of course I'll be adding some more flowers, but for the main images, getting my leaves down kind of in the background. They're front and center, but they'll kind of be behind the flowers as I begin to stencil them. I'm using Artesa's olive green craft paint, and it's quickly become one of my favorite greens. It's just the perfect green for me. I love it. And I'm just kind of following those sketched lines, kind of keeping that flow of like vines. And now I'm realizing I've got to I got to keep remembering to incorporate my flap. And so now I'm going to add just some lines, a few more vines, add a few more leaves here and there that I just need like 1 or 2 or something like that to kind of create that vine flow. All of the supplies will be listed on the blog, and the link to the blog will be down below in the YouTube description box. And I'll have a full list of the supplies. The picture I showed you is just a few of everything that I used. This is the Vintage Dahlia stencil, one of my favorites. And I'm using Artesa's acrylic craft paint again in wine, and then I'm also using some Nova Color quinacridone magenta. This is Liquitex acrylic ink in transparent raw umber. The other flower stencil that I used was the Vintage Bellflower stencil. And I'm just getting some yummy grungy goodness so it doesn't look so white and bright. It's got to have a little grunginess to it. And just spreading that acrylic ink around with a wet brush. And now I'm thinking, okie dokie, gotta keep integrating that flap in. So I'm adding just a little bit of that brayering. A little bit of my Liquitex acrylic ink. And now I'll be shading everything. I'll go over all of the vines and leaves and flowers with my General's charcoal pencil. So I hope you stick around for the conversation at the end. I share about the inspiration and kind of why I did the flap and just my where I was going with this piece. And so I hope you stick around for that conversation. It's a good one. This is the rustic font stencil. I love this one too. I don't use this one enough. I keep forgetting about it. So I put my message, my secret message, in the inside flap, and this is where I'll do my journaling. And I didn't do all of my journaling on camera. But I love the idea of having kind of this little flap to write all of my journaling in. And then when you close it up, it's just this really beautiful page. I'm using a Pitt pen to do my journaling with. And I used just a regular acrylic black paint to stencil the words with. Soft pastel for the edges, and that is it, my friends. Super easy, fun project today in my journal. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, subscribe and like and all those wonderful things. And I will see you next week. Well, hello, my friends, and happy Sunday to you. This was fun. So I just love it. Florals, yummy. And then my added little surprise here. Oh, I don't know when the last time I would have done anything like this. So it's kind of exciting. And I plan to do a little bit more. But so real quick, not new. The stencils that I used today will be on sale. And all the supplies and everything are listed on the blog, and the link to the blog is down below in the YouTube description box. And it was pretty straightforward, nothing to anything. I love working with tissue paper. I had some fun tissue papers and some really great collage elements, and these were kind of random collage elements. I do have something similar like the florals and stuff in the collage pack section in the shop. You can take a look at those. There's a couple different ones that have these kind of florals in them. But yeah, I love it. So the kind of the inspiration, I'm just going to make this real short because I had it was a tough kind of week, and had some, it wasn't, at this point I won't say it's bad, but it was kind of hard news with regards to the business and stuff like that. And everything's fine, but I had some expectations and didn't meet them and that kind of thing. And I was really bummed. But I took that situation and just said, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Where do I grow from this? All those kinds of questions. And that's, as I was kind of processing through that and kind of putting some of the pieces together within the business, I thought about growing and how every single thing that we go through helps us in one way or another, as long as we reframe it and ask those questions of, okay, all right, well, that didn't go according to plan. What do I learn from it? How do I grow? And once I did that, I was okay. I had a few tears at first, and then I was fine. And I'm really fine now. I mean, I just looking at things as an opportunity and a way to grow deeper and smarter and all of those kinds of things. So that's where this came from, because this week I am growing, and hopefully I'm always growing and learning and challenging myself in one way or another. But so this little flap here came about because for one, I've always seen people put little flaps or papers or pockets or different things like that, and I just haven't done that in, oh my gosh, years, I don't think. And And I wanted kind of this little secret spot here to give me my reminder, never stop. Never stop growing. And then I could do my journaling. And I haven't done all of my journaling yet, but it'll give me some in-depth place to kind of really write things out that happened this week. And then I can close that up and it's in its little secret spot. And I love that. And I know that this is not anything in comparison to what I've seen so many artists do in their journals, as far as like tip-ins or flaps or whatever they're called. I don't know. Because it's just really not my thing. I like to kind of create a whole total piece, you know. I'm growing. And I am challenging myself to do different things and use different tools. And that's part of the this year and my purpose and all those kinds of things. So that's it. It's growing. I'm growing constantly. I'm so grateful for the lessons. And I hope that wherever you are, or whatever, you know, place that you're at, that if it's difficult, even in the good for me doesn't teach me as much. Unfortunately, I wish I could learn more from the good, but I learn more from those difficult times. And I guess it's because it has my full attention and it causes me to pause. And I don't do that as much in the good times. And not that this is a bad time. Everybody's fine. All things are fine. This was just a blip, a glitch, a thing that was like, oh man, that didn't go how I wanted it to go. And that's okay. And I learn and I grow from that. So wherever you are, I hope that you, if you're struggling with something or frustrated about something, that you ask yourself, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this and out the other side? Gather wisdom and all those kinds of things from whatever it is that where you are in your journey. So that's it. That's it, my friends. Find your growing moments in every day and cherish them and be grateful for them and switch that flip that switch and take something that maybe isn't so great and make it something great, a moment of growth. All right, my loves. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I hope that you always, always know that you are loved.